afternoon, one and all. My name is Yvonne Norton, and I'd like to welcome you to Chippewa Park, located on the majestic Lake Superior right here in Thunder Bay, Ontario, where it is the site of the second annual North Shore Dog Club All-Breed Championship Dog Show. This is where basically the rubber hits the road. We're going to actually have juniors. They're competing for points, and the CKC, the Canadian Kennel Club, they track these points because every junior that's entered here has their own official number with the CKC. So we fill out paperwork, put our junior's number down, and then their win or participation is then sent into the CKC and the points are tabulated. At the end of the year, it's not quite the end of the year, it's usually mid-year, all the points are tabulated, and those children that have enough points are then invited to compete at their zone level. And then from the zones, we go to the nationals. And then the winner from the national actually gets to compete over in England at the large Crufts Dog Show. So this very first class that we're looking at right now is the novice junior class, and it's for kids for the ages of 7 to 10. And we call this the novice class because those children have not received up to 500 points. Once they've received 500 points, then they move up into the next class. So this is a really nice, healthy class of junior novices, which means for us, we've got a lot of handlers that are going to be coming up in the ranks. So typically we see smaller breeds in the junior novice and the junior intermediate classes, because they're a little easier to handle for the kids. And as a rule, we don't like the children to have to pick up the dog and place them on the table, such as we do in a regular dog show. So here you'll see a variety of breeds. We see a lot of Shelties. And we have a Labrador. And Labradors are so good-natured with kids anyway. So now, as you see, the small dog is up on the table, but generally there's an adult to help them put the dog on the table for them. Because these children are now, they're getting really prepared to become really, really good handlers. So the judge is going to examine the dog, and she's going to ask them to move in a specific pattern so that she can see the dog's movement. So this young lady, she's doing a really good job keeping her dog under control. And I notice she's readjusting its ruff. That's that big mound of hair around the back of its neck to fluff it up again. And as you see, the judge did remove the dog on the table for her, because we don't want anybody that can't hold their dog to flip it onto the ground. That's never a good thing. Now you can see the judge is instructing her on what she would like her to do. I believe she's asking her to do a triangle. And it's exactly that. There's one side, there's the second side, and when she gets to the corner, she's going to come right back straight to the judge. And there's your third side to your triangle. And now she's standing there and she's showing the dog a little piece of food or a treat. Of course, they all like that. And she's done a great job. And here's the next young man with a Sheltie as well.
And as you can see, this young man, he is in a suit, and that's generally what we like to see when we're at a dog show because it's a special event. So we tend to dress up a little bit. And he looks very sharp. And he too is showing expression on his dog, showed the treat. Some dogs like them, some dogs, depends on their mood. Right there, you showed the judge the dog's bite, which is their teeth. And as you see, the judge is examining the dog. The young man is holding the dog steady. And good job, he got him off the table without hazard. Now he'll be asked to do the same pattern. And there's a third side to his triangle. So other things the judge will look for is that you're moving at the correct speed for your dog, and we call that movement their gait. And now we see the Labrador Retriever. That's not a what we call a table dog. They're a bigger dog, so we'll just examine them on the ground. And like a true Labrador, they love their treats. And this young lady's doing a great job. And there goes the happy Labrador with the wagging tail. And here's our final contestant in this class, also with a Sheltie. And she's done a really good job. The dog was a little nervous, but she had that all under control. And like the other three contestants, she too will also do a triangle. There she goes. And all the way around the range she'll travel and get in line with the other competitors. Now at this point, the judge, she'll take another look. In her mind, she'll be deciding who she thought did the best job of handling their dog specific to their breed of dog. And then she'll place this class 1 through 4. Great job by that young man. Great job by those kids. So now our next class will be the Junior Open class, and this is for the same age group, but these children have won 6 or more first place. So they're in a different category because they have more experience and they've been probably to more shows. So we let them compete in a different class than the children that are trying to hone their skills. So this class is also for ages 7 to 11. And these children have a little bit what we would call more skill at this age. And the only reason is that they probably have had more practice. They go to more dog shows. So here in this class, we have 2 lovely retrievers. The first one's a Nova Scotia Duct Retriever. And the second one is, as we most recognize, a Golden Retriever. Now, I know for a matter of fact that both these young ladies, they have been handling for probably their whole lives, but I know both of them also help their parents show the dogs themselves in the regular all-breed show. So this is why, another reason why they would be in this more advanced class, because they would have more experience and time in the ring, not just in the junior competition. So, and as we advance in the classes, the judge will start asking the kids questions, and they'll be a little more advanced. They'll be a little bit harder. It's just as if you were in like school. So, you know, grade 1, 2, 3 level. As you get older, the questions get a little bit harder. And we expect a little more out of their skill and their technique. Great, this is what we call a free stack. That's a great free stack she just got on that dog. She just did a lovely job with that Nova Scotia Duck Polar. And as I said, this young lady also competes in the regular breed competition at the championship part of the show. And she actually owns her own corgi, which she often shows in junior handling, but she's quite experienced, so she likes to change it up. So this is why she'll have a golden retriever today. And then she was just getting some clarification from the judge as to what she wanted. And off she goes. Big long strides with that dog. Very nicely done. A big round of applause for these two young ladies. Well done, girls. All right, and as we progress, the age categories get a little older. So our next group of kids, they're going to be from 11 to 15 years old. And just as we did in the other two classes, we'll first have our novice competition. So these are the children that have not won as many prizes or placements as the children that will follow them. So more of a level playing field, as we like to call it. So this is the intermediate novice class.
No, I'm just tired. I can tell that.
And the nice thing about junior handling is that they can come in at any time in their age and be able to compete and then become competitive. As you can see, the judge once again asking a few questions. The questions that they ask at this level basically are structure. So they'll ask the junior handler, what is the dog's muzzle, which is the front of their face, basically. Where is the hock, which was that point where that young man was pointing to.
Well, let's see what that says. It's the Battle of the Weather Apps. Was mine right? Mine was right. It says 24 for mine today.
I have a feeling that dog wants to scratch his ear. Sometimes the collars tickle them right behind the ears because it's sensitive there. There. And off he goes. There he goes. And I did notice earlier today that this young man, he showed his own dog in the all-breed competition. And I believe he won select dog in the Labrador breed.
Good job. It is.
As you can see, it's the same thing we do every time. So as you can see, the judge asks to see the dog's bite. Then the judge will then what we call examine the dog. So they'll feel for the structure. Just the same as we do in the all-breed show. And there she asked another question.
And in my genealogy, there's not a lot of Jeffersons at all. At all. The only thing popular is probably the 60s. Yeah. That was huge. Yeah. Like more the, like your mind, you know, I don't remember the Abigail. Yeah. The Abigail. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is a flat-coated retriever. Another one of the sporting breeds. Quite often, more times than not, kids do like to take the sporting breeds in. They're very amicable. They're easy to get along with. And that's a good job done by both these young people. And the young lady with the flat coat is the winner. And the young man with the Labrador Retriever did a fantastic job. And he's very new to the sport, so great job. So now this class, as I said, is now our intermediate open, same age category, but now these children have won more than 6 first places. So they've got a little more experience, a little bit more knowledge, and as such, we will expect a little bit more from them too. So the judge will be asking harder questions and perhaps looking at them to follow direction more clearly and present their dogs in a more professional manner, as we would say. Now we can see there's a wider range of breeds. We have a Golden Retriever, a Shetland Sheepdog, and the famous fire truck dog, the Dalmatian.
Oh, okay. That's what Diane's looking for. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what happened to laugh?
Just a lovely Golden Retriever. That young lady did a really good job. As you can see, the judge is asking questions once again. And the reason why they do that is to see if the handler has some basic knowledge of the dog, whether it be what breed it is, what group it is in, the structure, like where the parts are, as I said before. So, and as they go through the levels, the questions will get harder.
She did good.
And this young man takes his Sheltie in the pattern that the judge requested, keeping mind of his speed so that he ensures that this dog is going to gait in the right pace.
Well, that's, I just meant that when she said it's BBL, so. She doesn't know now? No. She knows a train.
And when they stop, they show the dog's expression. Now here's our last competitor in this class. Showing the very lovely Dalmatian. And I know for this family, they have bred Dalmatians now for quite a few years. And I would know that this young man would have been there right from the very start of this puppy's life. So he will have quite the bond with it. His older sister does most of the showing in the championship part of the shows, but he will also help out. And he does a really good job. And like you said, they stop, they show them a little piece of food, and we get to see the dog's expression. And he's doing a great job at taking that dog around at the correct speed for them. And as we get in the older classes, it also becomes harder for the judge to decide who's going to be the winner. They have to think about how each of the young people presented the dog. How they maneuver around the dog. It's not always about the best dog behaving, because it's not. It's how you handle the situation. And as you see, the crowd gets into it too. They really enjoy this junior competition because this is the future of our sport. And the young lady with the golden retriever. Nice job. Good job with the Dalmatian. Excellent with the Sheltie. Now we only have one more class to go, and then after that we'll be judging for Best Junior Handler of the Day. So the final entry that we have today is a senior novice, and once again, it's a novice class, so this is someone that doesn't have as much experience as the open kids, as what we call them. So this is for handlers of 15 years of age and under the age of 18. So this is another example of it does not matter how old you are, you can still come in to showing dogs and enter at a level that you're going to be comfortable with, and then you can progress on just as many others have. Oh, it looks like our senior novice was not available. So now we're looking at our best in junior showmanship competition. So the winners of each of the first place winners of each class has come back in. The only classes we don't have come back in are our peewee handlers and our itsy bitsy handlers. And the reason for that is that those are not official classes, so they're not getting any points. The winner of this will have, they will receive points towards their ranking in hopes to be invited to their zone finals later on this year. And as I said, we have our 3 retrievers and our Sheltie. So this would be the hardest part of Kimberly's day, is choosing which one of these kids is the best junior handler. No, I think our judge may have made her mind up. She's going back to the table to grab the rosette and the prize. She's probably giving some words of encouragement, and there you have it. Best junior handler of the day, the young lady with the golden retriever. Well, that wraps up the junior handling competition. And in just a few moments, the all-breed show will continue with what we call the groups. So each breed is specifically put in a group, and we have 7 groups altogether. And I believe we're going to be starting with the sporting group in just a few moments.
Hi, my name's Peyton, and you're watching Shaw Spotlight.
This is Eloise. She's a 5.5-month-old Beagle. I bred her, and she's in today for baby puppy.
So how long have you been competing in dog shows?
Probably about 10 years. I started in Newfies. Hey. I started in Newfies, and then I wanted a breed that was a little bit more versatile. So then I found, was at a dog show, and there was an adorable little Beagle in a crate, and I kind of fell in love. Yeah. It was like love at first sight after that.
Yeah, how could you not? They are so cute.
Yeah, they're naughty, but you know, they're...
So what does it mean to you to have this kind of a show here in Thunder Bay?
Oh, it is such, I mean, you look around, you see beautiful dogs, but what you really can't see at first glance is just the friendship. Like, everyone here I could come up to and we could just talk dogs. We have such a passion for the sport and the love of purebred dogs, and it's just a field full of people like that. So aside from showing beautiful dogs and having the venue in our backyard, it's just nice to just hang out with people that are weirdos just like everybody else.
Well, I'm pretty impressed with how many people are here with dogs. Like, there is a lot of dogs here today, so it's very nice to see, and it's the community's come out as well.
Yeah, and I think when people don't realize they come to a venue like this, like, it's, for the most part, pretty quiet. There's like 100-something dogs here, and you know what? Everybody's dogs is like calm, they're well trained, they can be in the presence of 100 other dogs, and that's what we train for. Yeah.
Well, I don't hear a lot of barking, so that's good.
The odd one, right?
Well, thank you so much, and good luck today.
Yes, thank you for being here.
I'm here with Madison, and this is Kiss. Madison, how have you been doing today?
Good, not bad. We've had a busy morning. We started at 9 a.m. with these guys, and then it's been basically nonstop since, but now there's some breeze, so it's good.
Yeah, it is pretty warm out here today.
Yes.
And the dogs all seem to be very well behaved. I haven't heard a lot of barking. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves.
So when they're out here, they should be well behaved. They should be somewhat used to this. When they're younger, so this is her first ever show. So for her, this is kind of a learning experience, but she's been very good today. But yeah, most of the competitors have been excellent, and it's been really nice seeing such quality dogs out this weekend.
Can you explain to me what you're competing in today?
For sure. So she's a Russell Terrier, and she competes in the Terrier Group. So she competes against, I have another Russell as well, and her name's Butter. So she competes against the other Russell, and then whoever wins that gets best of breed. And then we go in and we compete with all the other Terriers that got best of breed. And the goal is to get a group 1, so the first in group. And then all those dogs go and compete against all the other groups to get best in show. So that's kind of like the pinnacle at the end of the day is best in show. And what the purpose of it is comparing each dog to their breed standard. So how close do they match what they're supposed to look like? And for these guys and every other dog I have here, it's really important that they match that because they're working dogs. So these guys hunt rats, and he's a Shiba Inu. And then I have a Border Collie as well, who's got multiple herding titles. So it's really important that they're built to the structure of their breed standard so that they can do the work that they're supposed to do.
Okay, now, I've never been to a dog show before, and I know we've been watching, and their owners are running the dogs, and they're all lining up.
Yeah.
What are the judges looking for? Is that basically it?
Yeah, so when you do go around the ring, and you do your down and back, and you're stacking your dog, what the judge is trying to see is how are they moving? So can they move like they're supposed to? And how are they structurally built? So really they're trying to see all different angles and ways that they can see how is the dog built. And then that's also why they open up their mouth to see their teeth. And then when they stack them, they put their hands over their shoulders and to feel the structure of the dog. And in terriers, they're also supposed to be spannable. So where I can touch the bottoms of my fingers to the tops of my thumbs around their chest, because they have to go into holes. So they have to be able to compress down a little bit smaller.
Okay, well, thank you so much for explaining all that to me, and good luck today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Glad to have you guys out.
This is Mac, and I'm here with Grace. Grace, how's the day been for you today?
It's been pretty good today, actually. He got best of breed, so at 1 he'll be going in for group. My Siberian Husky is going in for group as well, and my Corgi. So I'll be in 3 different groups. So
do you have 3 dogs, or do you have more?
No, I show client dogs, so I get paid to show other dogs. And then this is my dog. So we breed Dalmatians, so he's bred by myself and my mom. And I show him, and then I show other people's dogs as well.
So what does best in breed mean? What has to happen for that to happen?
Yeah, so there's a written standard that every purebred dog has to live up to, essentially. So there's like a pinnacle of what this breed should look like. So for him, he's supposed to have nice open markings. They're supposed to be about a loony to a toonie. Full eye trim, so around his eyes, they're fully black, and his nose is fully black. They can also come in liver, and then you want really rich chocolate eyes, and then tail straight off the back. So the judges are looking for what dog best suits the breed, and today that was Mac. And then every dog, every breed will have a best of breed winner, and that will go on to group. And then from there, they'll pick 4 dogs. The first place dog will go to best in show, which is kind of our end all be all. That's what we want to do. And then from there, they pick a reserve and a best in show, and those ones are the best of the day. Yeah.
Is this the only show that you compete in, or do you travel to compete in shows like this?
Yeah, so I travel to compete. I can go to the States, so I've been to Colorado, Florida. I go to Winnipeg, pretty much everywhere and everywhere. There's a dog show every weekend. So yeah.
It's pretty great that we have one here in Thunder Bay, and it's pretty big.
It is. This is a good size show. We do have a couple other ones, and they're normally out at the Stanley Arena. So in the summer months is when we have kind of our shows in Thunder Bay. So it's nice to have a good crowd drawn in for it. It makes it special for sure.
Well, Grace, thanks so much for talking to me, and good luck with the rest of the weekend.
Thank you so much.
I'm here with Tawny and Carbon. Tawny, can you explain to me what kind of dog Carbon is?
He's an Alaskan Malamute. He's a 7-month-old Alaskan Malamute.
He's very friendly.
puppyish.
He's a puppy.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So how has it been for you today?
It's been good. This is his first show, so I mean, he's done well. What's most important to me is that he can just hang and be chill. You know, the experience more so than winning.
How long have you been involved in dog shows?
About 25 years. Yeah, showing and breeding.
So what does it mean to you to have this kind of thing in your own backyard in Thunder Bay?
I love it. See, it's nice, and I only live about 5 minutes away, so it's definitely a nice, close show.
So how have you been? How have you done so far in the show?
He has done some winning. Again, he hasn't won any big prizes, but for me, the social and just being well behaved is more important, especially that he's a puppy and this is his first show.
I've been pretty impressed. Everyone, all the dogs are so well behaved and they're so beautiful. How many?
Expectation.
How many Malamutes are here?
There is, I believe, 5 or 6 of us. Yep. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem.
And good luck today.
Thank you.
And welcome back. This is the finishing part of the All-Breed Championship Dog Show. We're going to be starting with Group 1, sporting dogs. In this group, you will find retrievers, pointers, setters, and spaniels. And judging today's group is Mr. Sean Nichols from Calgary, Alberta.
No. Oh, man.
So Mr. Nichols took a quick look, went down the line. Now you have to understand, he's judged all these dogs today already, so he knows what he's got in his ring. And then he'll send them under the tents for shade. Because it is getting warm out today and their care is of utmost importance to us, so we make sure that the dogs are hydrated and out of the sun unless they need to be. This is a very skilled hunting dog, really great family pet, and they're called a flat-coated retriever because, as you can see, they have a really nice dense flat coat. And this is one of the breeds what we talk about that has a very distinct shape when they go around the ring. Next up is the ever popular golden retriever. This is one of the most, it's a really popular dog with a lot of families just because golden retrievers are generally very easygoing. They're great with kids. They're really good in most situations. They're always happy and they're easy and one of the easier breeds to train because they're very willing to be trained. And this is a really pretty young female. Next up is the Labrador Retriever, one of the most popular breeds in the US, but this is one of our native breeds. And as Canadians, I think we're very proud of the fact that we have the rights to the Labrador Retriever. As you can see, this one is black. They come in 2 other allowed colors. One is yellow, which is like a blonde or a really light brown color. And then they also come in chocolate, which is a darker brown color. I like to just let people know that sometimes you'll get advertisings for different colors in Labradors. If they're not black, yellow, or chocolate, they're not a real Labrador. Now, this is another one of our native breeds. This is the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. And this breed attracts the ducks by playing on the sides of the banks of rivers and the lakes. And this dog particularly, they came from Eastern Ontario. They drove all the way up for our show here in Thunder Bay. And this is another happy little breed, great with kids as well. And our final breed in the sporting group today is the American Cocker Spaniel. This one is a black and tan. Cocker Spaniels can come in a variety of colors. In Canada, we just show them all together, but in the United States, they separate the colors out. So there'll be just black, which also includes the black and tan, and then solid colors, which we call ascob, any solid color other than black, and then party color. And the party color are white with black or brown type markings. And there are our exhibits for the sporting group. Mr. Nichols will have them go around another time, deciding on his choice, taking another look at their side gait, how they move. Because every dog is judged by a standard, and we want to make sure that their form and function are correct. Now he's making his choice. He has pulled out the Labrador Retriever, the Flat Coat Retriever, the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling, or the Golden Retriever, and the Nova Scotia Duck Toller. Oh, he did it in reverse order. So our winner is the Nova Scotia Duck Toller, the Golden Retriever, the Flat Coat, and the Labrador. Now next we will have the puppy group, and that's all the best of breed puppies that were in the sporting group. So in our puppy group, we have a Golden Retriever, Labrador Retriever, and I believe a Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever as well. I believe we're just waiting for the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever. And as you can see, the Nova Scotia Duck Toller is being shown by his junior handler. This is a different dog than she had in junior handling. This is a puppy. So he's a little more rambunctious. And there goes the Labrador. And our Labrador Retriever puppy is best puppy in group. And our next group up is the working dogs. This will also be judged by Mr. Nichols from Calgary. Now these dogs all serve a purpose as to helping man with either guarding, carting. There's lots of different jobs that they would have. And these are the larger breeds, and they do just such a variety of different things. But mostly they're for guarding and protection. So the first breed, as you can see in the ring, is the Malamute, the Alaskan Malamute. And this is a northern breed with a very heavy, dense coat. This is a Bernese Mountain Dog. Here's a Boxer. There's a Doberman Pincer. And this is a Neapolitan Mastiff. That's a big boy. And then we have the Newfoundland. And then the Ice White Samoyed. And the Siberian Husky. And rounding out the group is a Tibetan Mastiff. That chirping and talking, as we like to call it, from the Alaskan Malamute is very much a breed trait. They tend to be very vocal. And then once again, Mr. Nichols will send them all around and have the other ones that he's not examining take shade under the tent. And as I said before, Mr. Nichols has judged all the breeds earlier today, so he's just giving them another periphery go-over as he sends the Malamute down and back. And you can see this is a dog that's able to pull hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So they're more robust in body than what the Siberian Huskies are. This would be like the draft horse size of these northern breeds. Here's now the Bernese Mountain Dog, and exactly what it is. He's a guardian and a work dog in the mountains of the Swiss Alps. And the markings on this dog are very breed specific. And they have, too, a very dense coat with a very thick undercoat and then longer guard hairs on the outside. Very lovely breed. Next up is a Boxer. And as you can see, his little nubby tail at the end there wagging away. Now this dog, he has his tail docked, but his ears are not cropped, and that's an option. We usually crop the ears, and it was for a specific function that we crop and dock tails. It's because these dogs were used for protection. And if they had to be in a fight or if they were being grabbed, that's why we eliminated some of the parts, so that they couldn't be grabbed and couldn't be hurt in that manner, and they could continue to do an excellent job. And this is a great breed as well, great family pet. And they really do like to box. They really like to play with their front legs when they engage in ruckus behavior. Next up is the Doberman Pincer. You often see Doberman Pincers in a black and tan. And this is what we call a red. So they have the darker red coat with the lighter tan points. And this is one of our few American exhibitors that have come up for the weekend. And she's done really well. Very pretty bitch. And that's what we call female dogs. And this is another one of the more well-known breeds. And it's because we're used to looking at them in this manner. Now here's a big boy. This is a Neapolitan Mastiff. And there's just a lot of skin and a lot of body on this. Just as these should be. And these were breeds that were, used in the centuries ago as guardians of castles and money. Because there's not too many people that would want to go up against something of this size and stature. They are not known for their speed. There he goes. He's doing a great job. And now here's one of our native breeds as well, the Newfoundland dog. These dogs, one of the greatest things to watch about these dogs, where they help with search and rescue, and you can watch these dogs jump out of helicopters into the ocean to save people. And you would think that something that large wouldn't be able to do that, but the power that these dogs possess is just unparalleled. It's a fantastic breed. And now this is the Samoyed. This is a very versatile dog too. Although they are a northern type breed and they're known for pulling sleds as well. Another thing that they are very good and adept at is they used to herd. They herd reindeer. And a distinct breed characteristic is called the Sami smile. So if you ever look at a Sami directly in the face, they should just look like they're smiling at you. They have very expressive eyes, nice small ears, and that ice white coat. But they can come in a biscuit color too. And this is a great breed to have. And now we can see the Siberian Husky. And if you look, as I was saying before, compared to the Malamute, this would be like the thoroughbred. So these dogs were built for more speed rather than the amount of pull power. So that's why there would be teams of Siberian Huskies. And once they get going, these dogs are fast. They're fast. And there he goes. This is one of our local dogs, a very handsome young man. And our final exhibit in the working group is the Tibetan Mastiff. This is one of the oldest breeds. This one's currently, it's the summertime, so he's doesn't have as much hair as he normally would. Normally they have a really big ruff, and these two protectors of the temples in Tibet. And as you can see, Mr. Nichols is now calling out the rest of the group so he can take another look at them, decide who he wants to place. He's just redirecting them as to where he'd like them to stand so that he can take a look. Like I said, he's just checking their movement, making sure their shape and they're making their form is correct to the breed standard. And he's pulling out his dogs that he enjoys. And there you have it. The Doberman is first, the Samoyed is second, the Siberian Husky is third, and the Alaskan Malamute is fourth. Wonderful, wonderful lineup. Great to see that you have the one short coated breed, and then you have the rest is all the big double coated breeds. And here comes Mr. Nichols handing out the awards. And that concludes the working group, and now we'll have best puppy in the working group. Now I believe the Samoyed was a puppy, so the only dog that it's going to compete against will be the puppy breed winner, the Doberman breed, because essentially that is the only breed that it has not beat yet. And there we see, and there's the typical black and tan Doberman like I was talking about before that we see. And she's going to send this, he sends this young man around the ring. And we get to take another look at the Samoyed. And he chose the Sammy for best puppy in group. Now the next group that we have coming up is the Hound Group. And that will be judged by Cheryl Patterson from London, Ontario. Cheryl originally bred Alaskan Malamutes, but she's become an all-breed judge, so she has taken many exams, has judged a lot of dogs, so now she can judge any of the 7 groups that we have here in Canada.
There's a table now.
So we're just going to let them set the ring up because we use what's called a table so that some of the dogs that are shorter legged can be put up on the table to be examined so that we don't have to bend over and kill our backs, and the dogs are more comfortable being at an eye level with the judge. And I think in the Hound group you'll see the most variety of sizes. You'll go from the very tall, long-legged Afghan and Irish Wolfhound to the very short-legged Dachshunds. And everything in between. As you can see, we have a Beagle as well. Now the Hound group is divided into two types of hounds actually. We have what we call our sight hounds, and these are the dogs that judge by their sight. So those will be generally the taller, lankier type of dogs. And then the other ones are called scent hounds. And those generally tend to be shorter, more robust dogs, with the exception of like the bloodhound. And unfortunately, we don't have any bloodhounds entered in our show this weekend. And Ms. Patterson is giving her exhibitors some instruction as to how she would like their dogs presented to her. She sends each one around individually. So as you can see, every judge does generally the same thing, maybe a little bit different here and there, but it's always the same. We might want to see their what we call side gait, how they move from the side. And then when we send them down and back, we're checking out their front movement and their rear movement. And like I said, you can see right there the many different shapes and sizes of this group. There we have an Otter Hound and the Saluki, also a sight hound, and bringing up the rear is the Whippet, another sight hound. This is the Afghan Hound. Very, very majestic breed. Very aloof breed. Very loyal to their owners. And the Afghan, the noted thing about this breed is that they have a very distinct gait, where what we call, they have a lot of lift. So they have a certain, we don't really call it a bounce, but they have a very much a different type of walk, where they lift off the ground. And there you can see, this is a young dog, so sometimes it takes a bit to develop it. And now the next up, we'll see, is the very popular Beagle. And the Beagle has what we call typical hound type markings, where they have a black jacket, that's the body area, and then the rest of the body is covered with tan and white. And the thing about Beagles is they're supposed to have a very plush face. They always look like a perpetual puppy, even when they're old and gray. And as you can see, there's his tail, and we like to call it, they have a brush at the end of their tail, so there's like a big fluff of hair there. Now next on the table is the mini wire hair Dachshund. This is, like I said, one of the smaller breeds. So with Dachshunds, we have two different sizes. We have what we call standard, and then we have miniature. And within those sizes, we also have three different coat types. What you're seeing here is a miniature wire hair Dachshund. They also come in a smooth coat, so it'd be very similar to that of how the Doberman Pincer looked, or a Dalmatian. And then we also have what's called a long coat, where they have fringing or feathering on their ears and their body and tail. And this is a miniature Dachshund, miniature wire hair Dachshund. More affectionately known as wiener dogs. And now you can see on the table, this is a standard wire hair Dachshund, and if you notice the difference in size. So bigger body. And the reason they come in different sizes is for the work that they do. You know, these are also considered what we call badger dogs. They're willing to go down into holes to get badgers. So you have to be pretty tenacious to want to do something like that.
No more table.
And Patterson sends the standard wire hair Dachshund around the ring. Now this is one of the tallest breeds that we have. This is the Irish Wolfhound. And these dogs were used to take down deer, actually. They're a big gaming dog back in the days of kings and queens. And this breed is just a gentle giant. Very even-keeled, very, very quiet breed. For such a large breed, they're actually, you kind of don't realize they're even there. They're so quiet and unobtrusive. No, don't let his size fool you. These dogs are fast. They are built for speed, even though they're extremely large. And next up is the Otter Hound. Don't often see this breed that much up here, but we're really happy this gentleman has entered and is attending our show. This is a dog that's supposed to look natural, almost like an unmade bed. So, and they have great, their coat has a wiriness to it, so it's to repel water, because these dogs often go into swamps to get game, and when they come out, they have to be able to give a good shake and be almost dry. And there she goes around the ring. Now next you see the Saluki. This is an extremely elegant breed and one of the oldest breeds that we have, dating back to the time of pharaohs in Egypt. And if you look at this dog, you can just see this is speed right here. And they too are a sight hound, so they would gaze off into the distance to look for game and then chase it down. And there's two types of coats on Salukis as well. You can have them in a smooth variety where they don't have all the fringing that you see on this dog here. And she sends the Saluki around. And our final exhibit in the Hound group is the Whippet. It's not a miniature greyhound, this is the Whippet. And if you think Salukis were bred for speed, these ones, they are fast. It's really fast. And the kind of game that they would take down, there's rabbits. So they have lightning speed and reflexes. And their shape is very conducive to the amount of speed that they can project. And this dog here, he comes from the Winnipeg, Manitoba area. So we get exhibitors from all around, not just our own province, but adjacent provinces, and also from the United States as well. Now Ms. Patterson takes a step back, taking another look at her exhibits, making up her mind in her head as to what she's going to do. She's probably going to send them around one more time. Not just for her own sake, but to give the crowd another look at these beautiful dogs. And here comes the little Dachshund, the mini wire hair Dachshund. Here's the standard. And the big boy of the group, the Irish Wolfhound. There you go. And a very clever Otter Hound. Saluki. And finally the Whippet. Just giving every dog their fair share of time, giving each one a good look. And there she's taking out her placements. And the Whippet is the winner. Beagle will be second, Saluki is third, and the Otter Hound is fourth. And I believe in the Hound Group we have some baby puppies that'll be coming in. And these are dogs that are under 6 months of age, but over 4 months of age. And these are unofficial classes as well. And just much like the junior handlers, we bring our baby puppies out so that they get used to the sights and sounds of being at a dog show before it really counts for anything. So baby puppies are so cute. And you'll get to see them in just a moment. And here we have our baby Beagle puppy. And you'll see that we are going to do the same thing as we do at in the big dog group, as we call it. We're going to do it for the puppies too. It's so that they get used to being on the table, being examined by someone else other than their owner. And this baby puppy seems to be taking it very, very well. So, and you want them trained well when you show them, because you pay an entry fee to be here and you'd like to get your money's worth, and it doesn't help the judge if your dog's bouncing all over or doesn't want to be touched. Then the judge can't examine it properly and take a look at it and see what, what's really there in comparison to what the breed standard is. So this is why we have the baby puppies come out and be competitive in this regard. And she was the only baby puppy, so she wins first place, and she's happy about that. As we see her little tail wagging back and forth. So this little girl, she's got quite the bright future ahead of her. So the next group up will be the toy group. And it's exactly what it sounds like. These are the littlest dogs that we have. And these dogs, their main function today now is being a companion dog. And they are exactly that. They're companions to the people. The only purpose they serve is to bring you joy. Now, back in the day, a lot of these breeds, though, were used as ratters to protect kings and queens on their beds from vermin. So as small as they may be, they have big attitudes. And we have a variety of breeds in our toy group today. And you'll see it different coat types and textures, different outlines. There's probably something for everyone in this toy group. And as you heard Miss Patterson giving instruction as to what she would like the exhibitors to do. So as she said, everybody go around, because here too she's checking out form and function, looking at what we call their side gate. Some breeds, side gate's really important, some breeds not as much. But what we're generally checking when they go around the ring is we like to make sure what we say they keep their make and shape. So when they're standing still and when they're on the move, it should basically be the same idea. So up first on the table is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. This is a tricolor. They come in other colors too. There's Ruby, which is all brown, and then a Blenheim, which is a brown and white markings. And this is a Spaniel, so you can see the plushness in his face and his happy wagging tail. Next up on the table is the long-coated Chihuahua. And this is probably one of the better known breeds in this group. And this is just a beautiful example of this breed. And this dog is locally bred. And as you can see, even with the little dogs, it's the same thing. Judges examines it. We check their bites. And then she'll ask the same to go down and back, as we call it. And they'll check the rear movement and we'll check the front movement. And you can see this little guy, he's got it all together, strutting his stuff. And like I said, even though they're small, they are mighty, these little toy dogs. Now on the table, you'll see the smooth-coated Chihuahua. So exact same breed, except a different coat type. And as everyone likes to call this, is the Taco Bell dog. Showing outside for these little dogs is a bit of a challenge because sometimes we're really fortunate that Chippewa came and cut the grass for us the other night, because sometimes the long grass can make a real big difference for a little dog. Now this breed on the table here is called the Havanese, and as you can see, this is our junior handling judge from earlier today. And so as we know, she's made the trip from Sault Ste. Marie to come up to our dog show this weekend. And the Havanese is a Cuban breed. And they have this long coat. Which requires quite a bit of care if you want to keep them that way. But if you have one as a pet, basically what we would tell you to do is trim it down, probably keep it in a more of a puppy cut, which is shorter, manageable hair. And that's what most people want. When we have them at shows, we keep them in different styles of haircuts. It's for effect, for sure. It's for beauty. But when they come home to live everyday life, we make them more comfortable. And on the table now is what we call a Japanese chin. It's one of our, what we call brachiocephalic breeds, so we pushed in face. And this breed is becoming more and more popular all the time. They're very, very, they have great personalities. And she sends the chin around to the end of the line. Next up on the table, we'll have one of my favorite breeds. This is the Maltese. So the thing about the Maltese is having this stunning white coat, silky. They're a single layered breed, and they should have a doll-like appearance in their face. Nice round eye, dark pigment. That's what we want to see in this breed. And this young dog's doing a great job. And the wind's blowing in the right direction so that all of its hair is blowing back on them. And then another very popular breed is the Papillon. The Papillon is named for their ears because they're the butterfly dog. So they have large ears with beautiful fringing on it. And then there's another type of Papillon, but we call them Felines. And the Feline type has what we call a drop ear. So their ears don't come up. They're just lowered on their head. And Feline stands for moth. So you have the butterfly and then you have the moth. There we go. And up next on the table is the Pomeranian. And this is a very adorable breed. They have a little Spitzy looking face. And Spitz is any of the breeds that have the prick ears, like the northern type dogs. And they have a little, and they look like little foxes. In this breed, when they talk about shape, they talk about circles. They should look circular. Here's this little dog just trucking through the grass on a mission. And I believe this is the last breed in our group, and this is called the Toy Fox Terrier. It's a sturdy little dog, very tenacious, exactly as their relation to the Rat Terrier. When he comes back to the judge, shows a little bait so you can see the expression, and is sent around the ring to join the end of the line once again. And there's Patterson once again, looking down the line, making her mind up as to who she will probably place in the group. Sending them around to the far corner, watching their movement. Seeing if that shape is the shape that she wants to see, according to their breed standards. There's that typical Cavalier tail. And here comes the the Chihuahua, long-coated Chihuahua. And as you can see, these little dogs, they might be little, but you can see they've got attitude to them. They really don't care how small they are. Rounding out the group is the Toy Fox Terrier again. And there we have it. The long-coated Chihuahua is first, Pomeranian second, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel is third, and the Papillon is fourth. And I believe in this group we'll have a puppy group and a best baby puppy group. Yes, I believe the Papillon is a puppy. So because it placed in the group, there will only be the breeds that placed before it will be called back in. And the only breed that had a puppy in it was the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. So we call back in the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and the Papillon together. And Miss Patterson requested for the Cavalier to go back up on the table. Just going to take another look. Real quick. Puppies tend to get very excited sometimes. They can't help it. There he is. He's getting more settled in as he realizes, oh yeah, I'm in the ring. There he does his down and back. Nope. And he marches on. There we go. Just wanted to restart that. He got off on what we'll call the wrong foot there. So they just do a little bit of a do-over. And back. And there you go. And she chose the Papillon. And now we'll have best baby puppy in group, and get ready folks, because here you're going to see some super cute babies. There's a little Chihuahua baby, long coated. And there's a Papillon and a Pomeranian baby puppy. Now just look. That little dog's no bigger than our ring placards. And look at them go. They're just adorable.
depending on the day.
And see, you can see within the breed itself, the same breeder is showing the group winner and now showing this baby puppy. You can see in her lines the confidence that these dogs have. And that's something that we breed for. We make sure that we have, sound not just in the body, but sound in mind as well. And this little papillon is just full of fire, and he's investigating the grass. And you have to remember the grass tickles on their feet. But that's why he's here, so that he can learn how to be a show dog outside. He'll get it one day. He's already getting better. And now, if you thought the adult size of these were cute, goodness gracious, look at this. Just adorable. It's like a little stuffed toy. Yep. It's quite common for these little baby puppies to hop and skip through the grass. If we can get 3-4 good steps out of them, then we're pretty happy about that. Look, go, yep. Sometimes big piece of grass, you gotta just go around it. Look at her go. She's getting the hang of it too. And best baby puppy is the long-coated Chihuahua. So our next group that we're going to be having is called the herding group, group 7. And just like it says, herding dogs. So anything that corrals sheep, cattle, any other type of farm animals, sometimes geese we even use them for. And here you'll see the common breeds such as the Collie, the ever popular German Shepherd, and the Shetland Sheepdog. And these will also be judged by Ms. Patterson. And first in the ring is the Australian Shepherd. The next is a Burger Picard. And then we'll see a Border Collie. And then we have a Smooth Collie. Most people are used to seeing the Rough Collie. And that's what the Lassie was. And then we have the very handsome German Shepherd. And rounding out our group, we still have the Shetland Sheepdog, which is not a miniature collie. And the Welsh Corgi, the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. And that's the one with no tail. So they talk about herding dogs, they talk about the ones that herd with their eye, and then there's ones that herd with their movement. So an eye type of breed would be right there, the Border Collie. So they look at the animals they're herding, and they can actually move them with their eyes. It's quite an incredible thing to watch, and I encourage anybody to take note and look at and find online. You can find all these types of different competitions online. So, Google on YouTube the herding herding trials, and you will be amazed at what these dogs can do. And it shows what their purpose is. And here's the powerful German Shepherd. And there's the Corgi. And it's a little... And here's the Australian Shepherd. The Australian Shepherd comes in a variety of different colors. They usually have these type of markings. But they can be also what we call a merle, which is like a dappled color as well. Extremely versatile farm dog. Very clever. That's one thing I'll say about herding dogs. Herding dogs are very clever, and they have to have a job. Because if they don't have a job, and a lot of people don't realize, if they don't have the job that they were meant to do, and then they can be very destructive. So as long as you keep them engaged, then they're just a fantastic animal to have around. Now here we see the Berger Picard. And this is another breed that's shown in its natural state. So we don't tend to do a lot of grooming and trimming on them, because that's what the breed club requests of us. Because as we go to a dog show, we tend to like to pretty them up. But this national club requests that we keep them as best in their natural state. And here's the very, very well-known Border Collie. And there goes the Border Collie. And that is a trait that they have, where they actually lower their head as they travel, because that's how they would drive their stock. And I told you about the eye line. And here's now a smooth collie. Not as popular as a rough collie, but a lot easier to keep, in my opinion. And this color would be called a tri, because there's the three colors in it: the black, the brown, and the white. Brown or tan. Collies too also come in a variety of different colors and color patterns. It's a lovely dog. And now there's really no introduction to this breed needed. The German Shepherd dog. Just as a note, this handler here, he's from the Wisconsin area. He's come up for the shows here in Canada to put Canadian championships on his dogs. And if you take a good look, you may recognize him as being the group winner from the Westminster Dog Show a few years ago. He was handling a different dog. It was a female, but nonetheless. Dog handlers seem to make their way all across this continent, and others, exhibiting their dogs. And here goes this young lad. And now here up on the table we have the Shetland Sheepdog. And as I said earlier, this is not a miniature collie. Even though they look similar, there's quite a few differences between the two breeds apart from their size. They have a different head shape. And as their name suggests, the Shetland Sheepdog was from the Shetland Islands. And this breed it's a wonderful breed, very, very clever, very willing to learn. You can do so much with them, not just show them, but there's obedience, all kinds of different things. Now here's another one of my personal favorite breeds. This is the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. And when I say they have no tail, the no tail kind, because there are two different types of Welsh Corgis. There's the Pembroke, which is the one you see here, and then there's the Cardigan. And the Cardigan has a tail. They have a different head type and a different body type too, but low and to the ground as well. And the Pembroke has this cute, foxy little face. And they can come in this red and white color as you see here. And they can also come in a tri-color too, which is the black with the white and tan markings. And these are really, really used for herding cattle. And they can go in between, with their short stature, go in and around cattle. And they would nip at their heels to get them to move. So as you can see, the same procedure all the time. She takes them around one more time, checking out their make and their shape. The smooth collie rather. There goes the German Shepherd coming into line. The Shetland Sheepdog. And at the tail end, with no tail, here comes the Corgi. And there you have it. The German Shepherd is first. The Berger Picard is second. Australian Shepherd is third. And in fourth place, the Smooth Collie. That's just great. Lovely group, lovely group. Now we'll be watching for the puppies coming up. And we'll have only a few of the breeds here have puppies in them. So I believe the Shetland Sheepdogs have puppies, the Welsh Corgi was a puppy. And I think that may be it. Yep, there's the Sheltie, and then there's the Corgi once again. I have to say, we're having wonderful weather for a dog show weekend. The rain is always holding off, the sun comes out, but then the wind picks up a bit to give us a cool breeze, so everybody's comfortable and we don't have to be worrying about anyone overheating, dogs and people alike. And the corgi with his short little legs, but purposeful little legs going. And they all talk about the corgi bum. A little round bum as they go away from you. With the little waddle that they have. There you see, there's the corgi bum. And the corgi is best puppy in the herding group today. And there's a fan all happy for the puppy. Now we have some baby puppies in this group as well. There's a smooth Collie puppy and a Shetland Sheepdog puppy, baby puppy. There we go. And it's just great to see the puppies with their tails wagging and happy, because it obviously tells us that they're enjoying it. So then they may have a future as a show dog. Because as we say, it doesn't matter how beautiful they are. If they don't enjoy doing this, then we don't make them do it. There's no point to it. Oh, look at this young man. Second day, I think he's been shown, and he's getting the hang of it already. See, he has no problem with the judges sampling him. You can see on the collie's ears how the very tips of them, they tip over. That's very distinct for both collies and Shetland sheepdogs. And it takes a while for that to happen. It's not just instantaneously. And as you can see on the baby Shetland sheepdog, that there's not as profuse a coat as there was on the adult, because that all takes time for that to grow in. And just like the others, send them around. And look, she's getting the hang of it as well. And best baby puppy in group is the smooth collie. Lovely choice. Now we're going to have a quick judge change. And our next judge up, who will be doing the last two groups of the day, is Miss Sandra Lex from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Sandra has been in dogs for many, many years. Her original breed was American Cocker Spaniels, where she bred them for years, and then as she gets older, as most of us do, she decided to change breeds, and the breed that she now has is the Afghan Pincer, which is in the toy group, and they're called the monkey face breed, but they're a smaller dog, and she truly enjoys breeding those as well. Sandra's taking a look to see where she'd like to put her winners. And they're going to start calling in the non-sporting breeds. So the non-sporting breed is like the utility group. It's the, we're not sure what we should put these dogs in because they do such a variety of different jobs. So in this group, you're going to see the Bulldog, Dalmatian, Lhasa Apso if it appears, Standard Poodle, French Bulldog, the Case Hund, the Shiba Inu, and a Shih Tzu. Now you can see there's two pieces of apparatus in the ring. You can see the table, and as you all know, that's the examination table, and then right behind it is the ramp. So for some of the not quite large breeds, but they're heavy, so they're hard to get up on the table. So we have a ramp, so they just walk up onto that ramp, and it's much easier for both the dog and the judge to be examined. And then there's Miss Lex taking a look at the exhibits that are being presented to her now. And like everyone else, she's going to send them around and have them go under the tent. Especially in the hot weather like this. I mean, it's not actually that hot today for a dog show. It's perfect weather actually. But sometimes it gets really hot, and even for, you know, your own knowledge, the dogs with these shorter noses, the way dogs cool themselves is actually through their nasal passages. So the longer snouted dogs have less difficulty breathing in hotter air. But where these shorter snouted dogs, they need to be kept in a cooler environment because they can't get the same relief as the longer snouted dogs do. And there goes the Standard Poodle. And this is the Shiba Inu. And here's the Shih Tzu, another shorter nosed dog, what we would call brachiocephalic. Oh, and it's obviously a puppy and enjoying himself. So here we go, and here's the Bulldog up on the ramp. And as Ms. Lex goes over this dog, you can see she's checking its conformation. So every dog has a breed standard, and that's how the judges judge. They know every nuance about these breeds, and this is how they became a judge. They had to write a test, they had to judge so many dogs, they have to do continual education. So it takes a while to become a dog judge. It's not just, you know, I think I want to do this and you can do this. No, there's a lot of knowledge that goes into this. You have to have been a breeder or a handler of some note for many, many years. Because there's, as you can see, a lot of different breeds that you have to realize and understand what they're meant and bred to do. And here's the Dalmatian, very popular Dalmatian. And if you recall the young man in junior handling, this is his older sister. on the table. And the Dalmatian is known as a coach dog, and it would run beside the coaches back in the day, and they could go literally for hours and hours. And on the table now is the French Bulldog, and it's different from the English Bulldog because of its bat-like ears that they have, smaller in stature. And this is a really, really cute breed. I think it's just adorable. And just like the one on Modern Family, Stella, that's the same breed. French Bulldogs come in a variety of colors, but they do not come in a dappled color. So, or a blue merle color. That's not one of the allowable colors. And sometimes you have to realize when we see advertisements for breeds such as that have what we call a disqualifying color, we have to understand that those dogs are not bred to our standard, and they could have potential health issues. And that's why we as breeders don't want to breed or encourage that, because you're just creating yourself problems. And you're not getting yourself a healthy pet. And that's the goal of all of us preservation breeders, is to breed healthier dogs. And this is the Case Honden. And this is known as the barge dog. These dogs, he really liked the ramp. And these dogs were on ships, and they took care of vermin on the boats. And now you can see the standard poodle, and most people don't understand this clip, so I'm going to explain a little bit why this dog is trimmed the way it is. Way back when, the standard poodle, this is actually a retrieving dog. They're an excellent hunting dog. This is one of the most versatile breeds. I really like it. It can do basically anything and everything. So you'll see that it's cut out in what we call a continental trim. And you'll see that it has pom-poms on its forelegs, on the back side of it, and on its tail. So those pom-poms on its legs, you have to understand, are covering their joints. Same with the hip ones. And then the big coat all around its rib cage is to protect its heart and lungs, because these dogs can go into freezing cold water, and that's why they're trimmed the way they are, so they can go out, retrieve a duck, come back in. So over the years, we've exaggerated the cut to look really fancy for dog shows, but originally that is why they were trimmed the way they were. And if you have one as a pet, you just shave it down to the length that you're comfortable with, and off you go. Now this is the Shiba Inu. This is a Japanese breed. Very, very intelligent breed. Another breed that must keep busy. Very headstrong. But a good family pet. And the next on the table is the very popular Shih Tzu. And this one is a young dog. I can tell by the length of coat that's on her. And she's very friendly, and she's enjoying Ms. Lex going over her. And she'll take her time to examine her, get through her very luxurious coat. And as you can see, this breed has a top knot, so it's just, you know, for showmanship. We put their hair up and give them a cute, what we call a bubble there in the front with a bow. And it does help, it keeps the hair out of their eyes. So even if you had one as a pet at home, you would maybe put a barrette in its hair or tie it back with elastics, just as you would a kid. Or you could trim them right down and have a very, very capable haircut at home. As I said before, this style of hair, this is for show. This is definitely for show. Just like a beauty pageant, you know. After the beauty pageant's over, the queen of the pageant, she doesn't keep wearing her ball gown. She does take it off and put on something more relaxing, and that's the same thing we do with the show dogs. Once they're finished their careers, they get what we call this cut down into a very easy trim to look after. And once again, she's taking a look at her lineup. She pulled out the K's Hound, the Dalmatian, the Shiba Inu, and the Shih Tzu. And that's the way they are. K's Hound, Dalmatian, Shiba Inu, and the Shih Tzu Puppy. So the next will be the puppy group once we get the group ribbons handed out. Ms. Lex enjoys judging and conversing not only with her exhibitors but also with the show committee. It's all about having a great time here at the dog show. A lot of camaraderie. Friendships have been made over many, many years, and we do consider this a family. So next up will be the puppy group, and I believe we've got a Dalmatian puppy and the Shih Tzu puppy will be back. And I'm not sure if there's any other puppies in this group. Nope, just the two of them. And like the other times, the Shih Tzu puppy placed fourth in the group, so we only had to bring back the breeds that placed ahead of her. For the group. You can see the handler there giving the dog some treats while the judge is examining it. Sometimes it takes their mind off of what's going on in case they're not too sure about being touched. Most of the times it's just to keep them standing still. we go. This, it's hard to tell, but this actually is what we call a liver Dalmatian. She actually had brown spots, which is totally allowable. And there goes the little Shih Tzu again. Getting more used to being in the grass. Not as much hopping and bopping going on. And there she goes. Her little head held high. And our Shih Tzu puppy is the best puppy in the group. And now we have a couple of baby puppies in this group as well. I know there is a standard poodle puppy. Actually, I think it's the only baby puppy in the group. So we'll have the standard poodle puppy, I'm sure, going around the ring now. And as you can see, with the young ones, they tend to hop and jump a little bit. Getting used to the feel of grass under their feet like that. Getting used to the sights and sounds of the big dog show. Hey, Peyton. Maybe after Best in Show, come back, okay? Yeah, because I think then I can interview you, okay? Perfect. And there we go with the standard poodle puppy. And that will be your best baby puppy in the non-sporting group. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Our last group is going to start. The two will be judged by Ms. Lex. So our final group of the day is the Terrier Group, and that's exactly what it sounds like, the Tenacious Terriers, the spunky bunch. This is a great group of dogs. They have fantastic personalities. They can be really hard-headed. A lot of people say they're yappy, but in my opinion, they're only yappy if you let them be yappy. And we have a few breeds here for you to see today. As you see here, we have the Cairn Terrier. And behind him will be the Russell Terrier. The miniature Schnauzer. There's the Bull Terrier. Very robust breed. Very, very distinct head shape. Has like an egg head shape. And there's the white West Highland White Terrier. It's one of the cuter breeds in my opinion. And so much like everything else around the ring, here's the Bull Terrier. He's just a massive muscle, that one. And here's a very cute Russell Terrier. The miniature Schnauzer, very, very popular breed. And the West Highland White Terrier. Now, as you can see, she's going to go over the you just see the amount of muscle on this dog. This is a locally owned and bred dog. Actually, the breeders of this dog, they are world renowned. Gord and Norma Smith. Very, very well known in the Bull Terrier world. And on the table is a little Cairn Terrier. At one point in time, they said that back in the day, in a litter of puppies, you could have a Cairn Terrier, a Scottish Terrier, and a Westie, all in the same litter. But as the years went by, they developed and changed each of the breed to look as they do in modern day. And this, you can tell, is just a young dog as well, doing very well. And on the table now is the Russell Terrier. And the Russell Terrier is related to the Parson Russell Terrier, or the Jack Russell Terrier, as they were once known as. A very cute, spunky little breed this is. And on the table now you'll see the miniature Schnauzer. There are three different types of Schnauzers. There's the standard Schnauzer, which is the original size, and that is actually a working dog. And then there's also giant Schnauzers, and which also is a working dog, and they're much, much larger. But they're very guardy. And I'd have to say miniature Schnauzers are very guardy as well. They are very protective of their families. But a really great family pet. And this here too, you can see as we watched the boxer in the working group, this is a miniature Schnauzer that does not have its ears cropped, because they can either have them up or they can have them down, such as this one. last dog of this group is, as I said, one of my favorite breeds, the West Highland White Terrier. Compact little dog. And it's often known, if there's a Westie in the room, they will let you know. They like to be the center of attention. Big personalities on this smaller type dog. I'll go from there. Please look at her phone. Yes. Look at my message on the phone, please. And there you have the Terrier Group. We have the Russell Terrier, the Bull Terrier, the West Highland White Terrier, and the miniature Schnauzer. Oh, it takes a minute. Hobby. There's Lex awarding her group placements to the exhibitors. And I believe we'll now have a puppy. Okay, we have a couple of puppies here. We have the miniature Schnauzer puppy, and we also have the West Highland White Terrier puppy. So I believe the miniature Schnauzer placed in the group, so as before, the Westie puppy will be brought in.
Puppies. I can't see. I can't see.
There's a little miniature schnauzer trucking around the ring. And here's a little Westie puppy on the table. And there we go, making her final decision between these two lovely puppies. And it is the Westie, the West Highland White Terrier puppy for Best Puppy in Group 4. Now we've completed all of the group judging, and so next it's the end of the day. And this is where we pick our best in show dogs. So our first competition is the best baby puppy in show. So what we'll do is call back all the group winners from the best baby puppy competitions. So if you were paying attention, you figure out which puppies will be coming back. And then Ms. Lex, who will also be judging our, what we call our general specials, so that's the best in show deal, she'll be picking her best puppy, baby puppy in the show for the day. And then after that, it comes the top of the top. So then the cream of the crop she'll pick next. She'll then judge best in show, and then she'll judge best puppy in show. So once the ring gets set up for our best in show judging, we'll have all the dogs come back in and you get to see them one more time. Good afternoon. I am on location at the Chippewa Park event that is the North Shore Dog Club held here. And I'm with my very good friend, Peyton Smith. Peyton, how long have you been showing dogs for?
Since I was 4.
Since you were 4 years old. And would that be because your mom and your grandparents were also in dogs?
Yes.
Right. And what breed did they have?
German Shepherds.
And how many German Shepherds do you have at home currently?
We have one that's like 5, and then we have like 10 puppies.
10 puppies. So you just had a litter of puppies, right?
Yeah.
And do you have your own dog at home?
Yes.
What kind of dog is that?
It's a Corgi.
And what's her name?
Rena.
The ballerina?
Yeah.
Yes, I know that. So today you participated in junior handling, and did you have a good time?
Yeah.
And how many times have you won junior handling?
A lot of times that I can't even count.
Excellent. And what's your goals when it comes to showing dogs? What do you want to do in the future?
Be the best shower ever.
Excellent. That's a good job. And how important is it that the dogs are always looked after first?
Really important.
Right. Because their care is the most important thing we care about, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So this is my friend Peyton, and thanks for joining us. So this is the best baby puppy in show competition. So first we have the Beagle. And then we have the long-haired Chihuahua, long-coated Chihuahua, the standard Poodle, and the smooth Collie puppy.
And these baby puppies are doing a great job. Can be a long day for a young dog like this, but they are all just powering through. Still have their heads and their tails up, they're wagging. They're all very happy to still be here, which is what we like to see. And just as a matter of procedure, as Lex will go over every dog, examining their structure. In her mind, she's going over what the breed standard says, and then she'll be comparing what this dog's structure is to what the breed standard states. Oh, and see this little dog, she already is learning how to step into her, what we call a stack, and that's where she places her legs correctly for her breed. And here is the baby Chihuahua. The long-haired, long-coated Chihuahua. And then let's see, she's doing a great job going through the grass, looking at things, getting used to the sights and sounds. And there she's doing a little happy dance. And you can see she's truly enjoying herself. Next up is the standard poodle puppy. Now you notice the standard poodle puppy is in a different trim than the adult was in. And the puppies can be left in this type of trim until they reach 1 year of age. And then we do what we have to cut them out. And that's just simply putting them either into a continental, and the other trim that they have is called an English saddle. But the continental trim is the one that most people think of when they see a standard poodle as an adult. And now here's the smooth collie. And as you can see, the handler giving them some food. And that's in hopes that he'll stand still while the judge is examining him, because he's not bothered by being touched, but they just get restless because they don't know. Look how alert that little young man is. Nope, and there's a little hop and a skip. The judges don't really mind any of that going on when they're this age. Oh, look how beautiful now that is. There you go. Just had to get it out of his system. go. Now she's going to take another look at her lineup. Now she's just moving them around in size order, because then it's easier. The little ones don't have to worry about getting stepped on by the bigger ones. So now she's going to send them around.
It's the poodle.
The standard poodle puppy. Smooth collie, the beagle, and the long-coated Chihuahua. And the beagle puppy wins. All right. Now that we've got that done, this is it, folks. For all the marbles, this is it. Best in Show will be next. So our 7 group winners from group 1, 2, 1 is sporting group, 2 is hounds, 3 is the working group, 4 is terriers, 5 is the toy group, 6 is non-sporting, and group 7 is herding. So we'll have the winner of each one of those groups come back in, and they will be competing for the coveted Best in Show. Today we had 115 dogs entered at our show. So the best dog will be the best of 115 dogs. So group 1, as you recall, is our Nova Scotia Duct Tolling Retriever. Group 2 is our Whippet. Group 3 is the Doberman Pincer. Group 4 is the Russell Terrier. Group 5, in comes the long-coated Chihuahua, followed by our Group 6 winner, the Is Hound, and herding up the rear is the Group 7 dog, the German Shepherd. Now, Miss Lex, she has probably judged most of these dogs. There's maybe 1 or 2 that she hasn't, because she's been here for the past 2 days. And she is an all-breed judge, so that means she can do every single one of these groups. So you just have to think about the amount of knowledge that she has when it comes to dogs and their breed standards. And when I talk about their breed standards, it's not just like a couple of paragraphs. There are pages and pages of description on how every breed is supposed to look, if there's any disqualifications, any of the nuances. They have to know the origin and the function and what these dogs were, what their purpose was. And the first dog she'll examine is the sporting dog, the Nova Scotia Duct Tolling Retriever. This dog hails, as I said before, from Eastern Ontario. This is one of our more well-known breeders of the breed, Christine Jones. She's done quite a bit of winning. And as we saw, it was her daughter in junior handling. And I believe she was showing this dog. So as you can see, the big winner, he's well versatile, as he's used for juniors as well. Just a lovely dog. Up next is the Whippet. And this dog hails from Winnipeg, Manitoba, being shown by his breeder and owner, Diane Fast, who also breeds Dalmatians, and she's been in dogs for many, many years. And Diane, too, herself is a judge. Whippet looks lovely. And up next is our working dog, the Doberman Pincer. This dog hails from Minnesota, so they made the trip up across the border. No doubt this dog was working on her Canadian championship. So, an international affair here at Chippewa Park. As you can see, they were looking at the dog's bite, and there was a lot more examination to it, because one of the things in this breed standard is that they are to have full dentition. So the judge has to check all the way to the back molars, to make sure the dog has the right number of teeth.
Seven of them. Is that like focus?
And she'll send this lovely Doberman female around the ring as well. And next up on the table is the Russell Terrier. And there you go. Spunky little terrier taking his or her down and back. Showing some lovely expression to the judge. And now we have on the table the long-coated Chihuahua from the Toy Group. And as I said before, these are small, but they are mighty. And I must say, this little dog, he owns it. He stands there with such confidence. There's no telling him that he only weighs approximately 5 pounds. And this is also a local breeder, and she's done very well internationally. She's won the American National Specialty, beating out hundreds of other Chihuahuas for best of breed. Very prestigious win. And now we have the non-sporting group winner, the Hound. And something very unique to this breed is around their eyes, they're to have markings that they look like they're wearing glasses. They call them spectacles. As you can see, Ms. Lex checking that dog's front, and what they're checking for is the angulation on their shoulder. So she has to feel through all that coat to see what the body tells her.
Yeah. Yes.
Is Hound. Beautiful dog, beautiful. And finally, last but not least, is our herding dog, Group 7, the German Shepherd. And as I said, this dog also is from the United States, from the Wisconsin area. Well-traveled dog. You can see the power in that gait. He's digging into the ground and he could just launch himself, but his handler's going to keep him under control, because sometimes launching themselves is not what we want them to do. So Mr. Boyle here is very, very versed in showing the shepherds, and now he's going to let him out. He's going to show his full extension and his drive off his rear. Beautiful, just beautiful.
Who do you got, Sarah? Who do you got? Got that whippet. I got the whippet, the second one in line here.
So she's going to do the same as most of the other judges as well. Take them around one at a time. She can focus on looking at their make and shape as they go around. Their form and their function is correct. There's the lovely Nova Scotia Duct Toller. Then we have the Whippet. Then the Doberman Pincer. We'll see the Russell Terrier. And then our long-coated Chihuahua, the Hound, and the German Shepherd. So at home, who do you think Ms. Lex is going to pick for her best in show? Who do you think is going to be her top prize? So what she's also going to do first is pick a reserve best in show. So just like the runner-up at a pageant, we have that as well. So she's going to award reserve best in show to one of our 7 candidates, and then she's going to choose best in show. So everybody waits in anticipation. She's going to sit there and mark her book and decide who she has deemed the best dog in the show. Will it be the sporting dog? Will it be the long-coated Chihuahua? Will it be the German Shepherd? Each and every one of these dogs has an excellent shot at being best in show. It's a lovely lineup. Now she's going to make an announcement. Let's.
This is going to be second place.
reserve best in show goes to the Case Hound. And best in show is to the German Shepherd dog. Fantastic lineup. And as you can hear, Ms. Lex enjoying a good laugh because she truly enjoys doing this. She loves judging. And she is judged all over the world as well. So we're very honored to have her up here in Thunder Bay at the Chippewa Park. So last event of the day, best puppy in show. So same thing as the adults, we're going to do it with the puppies. So we're going to call back in all of our puppy group winners. And I believe we only have 6 because I believe one group did not have any puppies entered this time around. So we're going to give them a minute and get those puppies in the ring. And here they come. Here is the Labrador Retriever, the Samoyed, the West Highland White Terrier, the Papillon, the Shih Tzu, and the Welsh Corgi. So we like to be consistent so that everybody knows what's going on. You'll see that Ms. Lex runs her ring the exact same way each time. So once again, she's sending each one around on their own. She can take a look at them. And there goes the little Papillon. Here comes the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, herding up the rear. And there he goes with his little bum. So, telltale sign that you're near a Labrador. You see the thick tail just wagging away there. And off that young lad goes. That black fur is going to start getting hot with the sun coming out, so under the tent he shall go. There you go, right into the shade. And now here we have the Samoyed. You can see that Sammy smile there. Lovely puppy, lovely puppy. And next is our Group 4 Terrier Puppy Group winner, the West Highland White Terrier. Now, most terriers, as we know, they have a harsh outer coat. Most. There are some that don't, but most do.
Yeah, he might be.
I'd go chase after him if you want. Oh, really? Okay, cool. We just want to get out.
apparently he'll come back for a picture.
Yep, I've just been informed.
Hear me?
And there goes the little Westie with its black pigmented nose and eyes against that white body. And here we go with our group 5, our toy winner. Remember the papillon or the butterfly dog? And that refers to the shape of their ears. And as you can see on this puppy, how his ears look like 2 big butterfly wings. And you can see that Sandra over there was checking the coat texture. Lifts up the coat just to make sure that it has the correct coat type for this breed. And here again, small but mighty. This is a little dog with a lot of confidence as well. And for a puppy, that's just fantastic. Probably have a very, very illustrious show career. And here's our non-sporting group winner, group 6. This is the Shih Tzu. And there was the little Shih Tzu. See, every time they go in the ring, they get just a little bit better. And if you recall, she was a little bit hopping and bopping around before, and now she's getting the rhythm of this. And like we say, heads up, tails up, things are looking good. And the last competitor in our best puppy in show group is the group 7 herding dog, the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Here goes the little corgi with this foxy little face. And as we turn, we get to see the famous corgi bums. There, he's done such a great job. There you have it. So just going to send them each around to the other corner as she did before. Giving her final look. Making her decision. Running through her mind. All the different things that are important to each of these breeds. Taking its place, and the corgi. Here she's looking at expression, checking out each dog's face, checking for that Sammy smile. The inquisitive little look of the Westie. Ears on that Papillon. The foxy little face of the Corgi. She's going to head back to the table. She's going to make her decision. So at home, who do you think's the winner this time? And we only award one prize for Best Puppy in Show. So will it be the Labrador, the Westie? Maybe it'll be the Corgi. You have to wait and see who Miss Lex will choose as her Best Puppy in Show.
Got the middle one.
So this is just a fine way to wrap up a beautiful day out here at Chippewa. The weather has been so cooperative. We haven't had to worry about any rain. It's been warm but not too hot. Good breeze comes off the lakes. It's just an enjoyable day. And after we're all done here, we might go over to the amusement park, take a ride on the bumper cars, or go have and it's the Samoyed. And just a note, the Samoyed was Best Puppy in Show yesterday too, under a different judge. But that's everything. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I hope you come out next year when we have our show. We'll be going for our 3rd annual All-Breed Championship Dog Show. And we'll have some other events as well we're working on. So it'll be a great time, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.
This is Gizmo.
Gizmo. And how old is Gizmo?
Close to 3 years old.
So he's just actually starting out in a career, if he has a career with you, right?
Yeah, we finished his championship down in the States, and then we brought him up here to finish the championship so we could exhibit him at the German Shepherd Dog Club of Canada in September.
In September. And is there a reason that show is going to be important for you?
Well, it's the 100th anniversary.
And so what's your plans with Gizmo for the next little while?
Well, he goes to Maryland in a couple of weeks down in the States, and then he'll go to the Canadian National and then to the U.S. National.
Nice. And where is Gizmo from?
Gizmo is from south of Denver and Colorado Springs.
So he's made quite a trip to come here.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We're from Wisconsin, and he's been living with us the past 6 months or so, and the owners live in Colorado Springs. So he's kind of a traveler.
He is. So we'd like to congratulate you. All the best in the future, and good luck to Gizmo.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're back again, and we have more of our winners of the day. Today we have the Best Puppy in Show winner and the Reserve Best in Show winner. So what's the Best Puppy in Show winner, the Samoyed? What's his name?
Enzo.
Enzo. And the K sound, his name?
Indy.
Indy. So how old is Indy?
Indy is 3.
How old is Enzo?
He's going to be just turning a year in a week or so.
In a week. So just under the wire to keep winning Best Puppy in Shows. Now, you had a really good day yesterday with Enzo, too, didn't you?
Yes.
Because Enzo won Reserve and Best Puppy in Show all by himself. Yes. So you drove all the way from Ottawa to come to our dog show here. And how's it been so far for you?
Very good. Very good.
Well, especially when you win.
Yes.
Now, does Enzo have any relation here locally?
He does. His sire is from the area.
So his sire's a Thunder Bay dog?
Yes. Yes.
That's just great. So it's all in the family, and I would just like to thanks you again, and that'll be everything for this weekend.